All set.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. I'd like to call to order the Norwalk Public Library Board of Directors meeting June 13th via Zoom. In attendance, we have Ralph Bloom, Janie Williams, Geraldo Williams, Patsy Brescia, Laurel Peterson, Alex Knopp, Mary Mann, and Sherelle Harris. I would like to approve the minutes of the May 9th meeting. Would anyone like to make a motion?
So moved.
I do have one change. Does anyone, I'll just go over my change quickly. On page 5, there is, it says under staffing update, number 6, instead of a grant manager has been identified. I'd like to make sure that is a branch manager, BRANCH manager has been identified.
Good. I accept that as a friendly amendment.
Any other changes? Okay, anyone want to second that motion?
I'll second.
Ralph seconds, all in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Abstention. I abstain.
So, same here.
I wasn't here.
Mary
I
abstains,
wasn't. So
and Geraldo also abstains,
not present also.
not present. Is anyone here for public comments? Okay, Sherelle? I know we have some guests expected today, so I just want to make sure that I have a sense of when they're coming.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was talking. I thought I was on mute. I don't see Shelley. Shelley says she's trying to log in, but I don't know if she has the right link or not. So if you want to, move on, we can always have her join, or she can speak when she joins.
What about Lisa and
I
Haley?
don't see Lisa either, and Haley is in Sweden.
Oh, she's in Sweden. Okay. So okay, so when they jump on, we can maybe take a break for them. Okay. So for my report, I do want to report that the closing of 3 Belden has taken place. It took place on May 30th. So that property now officially belongs to the city. We will need to meet with the city at some point in the near future to figure out next steps with that property. So that's forthcoming. I hope you all had a chance to look at the Hour this week and read about the Wall Street renovation, which is about to happen. I just thought, can I get a show of hands maybe of who read that article?
I'm off screen, but I read it.
Okay. So
Put it on.
I just like to just go over a few things because I think this project is very relevant to us. And so and I think that so let me just go over some of the main things from the article, and then also maybe we can just talk about how to keep apprised and updated on that project and how to even possibly be involved. So it's a $25 million project. And the first phase is the groundbreaking for that is going to take place on August 5th, and they're going to be looking at the area between the Main Street and Brook Street. That's kind of right at the other end from the library, kind of the entry into the Wall Street area. And the goal is to expand sidewalks, redesign streets, add more trees, improve lighting, raise the crosswalk. And then currently, I think that the article states that they're prepping for phase 2. And that would be the area from Wall Street, Hoyt, River, Commerce Street, in that area. And then the later phase, I guess phase 3, would include our area, the Belden Avenue area and West Avenue. And they are currently in the middle of phase 1 of improvements to the Yankee Doodle Garage. And that includes facade improvements and lighting. And the article also mentioned, which there has also been in the news, the Milligan's proposal to build a hotel there, the district music hall, which is bringing in some really terrific acts, the Conservatory of Arts. That's all very much in our neighborhood. And it's all very exciting news for the Wall Street area. And I'm sure, I mean, maybe Alex, you might know a little bit more about this, but if there is I think that there is a local neighborhood kind of committee, and I would be curious as to how the library, or maybe Sherelle, you might know if you sit on that committee, if or if the library has any participation or role in that. I'd be curious in that. You're mute.
I've attended their meetings, which are very, very, very productive. So one thing that I didn't see mentioned is they're thinking, I think it's Burwell Street, where the bus hub is. They want to make that a two-way street, and relocate where the bus hub is. You know, because it's a busy street, it's a big street, so it'll be great to have that as a two-way, you know, cut through. So that's one of the other things that they're thinking about.
Well, that's great. And yeah, that's great. And just keep us updated, and however we, you know, the board can help, participate, advocate, do keep us in the loop.
Sure.
And if at some point we can even bring someone onto the meeting to get some more information, that would be great too. I know I see Shelley here. I just 1 second, I'm gonna finish up my report and then turn it over to you. Thanks, Shelley. I just have this Sono parking lot. And I just want to let you know that as you might recall, about $45,000 has been approved, was approved in the capital budget for paving on the lot. And so I know Sherelle has been in touch with DPW about getting on the paving schedule, and that to make sure that we're in full compliance for ADA, and that's combined with our EV charger, and we need to get onto the schedule for our EV charger as well. So I just wanted to make sure that you knew that we were on top of that.
Mhm.
Anything you want to add on that, Sherelle?
Basically, they were just waiting. I sent an email, and we're just waiting to hear back as to how we can, so that we can coordinate with SNU, you know, who is so graciously installing our electric charging stations. So just to get everything done at the same time. And since we're doing the work, we will have the ability to become fully compliant as far as our ADA, as far as ADA is concerned for our parking lot.
Okay, so I'm gonna hand it over to you, Sherelle and Shelley, so to give us an update on Libraries Without Borders.
Are we
Order.
gonna do the,
Oh, sorry, go ahead. Geraldo?
I was just going to say, you had asked if Alex had anything to add on the two
Oh my God,
buildings.
there's a cafe discussion too.
No, I didn't even mean that. We can get to that later.
Okay.
But you asked if Alex or Sherelle had anything to offer on the 3 Belden Street area, and I don't know if Alex did.
I think Morton was asking how the library is participating in the discussion, and I'm not in that role anymore, so I didn't have anything to add to what Sherelle said. Thanks, Geraldo.
Yeah. Thanks. That's it.
Are we gonna skip the cafe?
We'll skip it and go back to it.
Okay. Hi, Shelley. So I just
Hi,
want to
Cheryl.
introduce Shelley Young. Shelley has been working with Library Without Borders. Shelley, Haley Roy, who is in Sweden at present, Lisa, and I know Nicole is off today. So Shelley, it looks like you're on the you're in the spotlight. So Shelley is going
you.
to talk a little bit about the report and some of the progress that's been made since we began working with Library Without Borders.
Thank you, Cheryl, for the invitation, and good evening, board members. It's my pleasure to be here. Let me share my screen. Okay, hold on a second. Oh, here we go. Hold on a second.
We can see it, Shelley.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it has been a great year, for Haley, Roy, and I working with and also being trained by Nina Safan and also Venetia McGee from the Library Without Borders. The goal of our partnership is to first increase and sustain library usage among those with minimal current engagement. Number two is increase access to and confidence in navigating essential information resources among the currently underserved or unserved communities. Thirdly, diminished digital and other literacy gaps among under-resourced communities. So they began by interviewing library staff, Greater Norwalk Literacy volunteers, GNLV tutors, and also all partner organizations in Norwalk to identify the library's needs. After gathering the data, they initiated weekly Facebook and also Instagram training sections in October to aid our outreach efforts. For the first 2 months, Libraries Without Borders managed our social media posting to demonstrate effective community engagement strategies and also provide us with statistics on post reach and also engagement. So next slide will be, so Sono reach increased by 82% on Facebook and 72.4% on Instagram. During the same period of time, post engagements grew by 26.3% on Facebook and also 44% on Instagram. Throughout the weekly training, we learned how to create reels, develop stories, captions, and also hashtags, establish a content creation workflow, and also interpret data. Additionally, we held regular weekly meetings with Nina Safan and to plan our outreach goals. On December 18th, 2023, we had a successful visit with the Housing Authority at 24 Monroe Street for their Christmas party. We introduced ourselves and our programs. We helped clients obtain library cards, checked out books, and also host a story time section. It was exciting to connect with the community. And also on February 27, 2024, we conduct outreach at the George Washington Cover Center, setting up 3 stations. The first one is Let Sono Fly post making, story reading, and also a Minute to Win It game station. The students and the staff enjoyed the activities and also the prizes were awarded. We also donated a bookshelf and books to help Cover Center students to encourage them to read and also to connect with the Sono Library. By the end of our partnership, Nina and Venetia provided us with over 50 pages of sustainability tools, including guides on conducting community assessments and assets mapping, creating social media content, optimizing community partnerships, and establishing community assets, points, and hubs. So in conclusion, our collaboration with the Libraries Without Borders has significantly enhanced our outreach capabilities, social media presence, and also community engagement. The training and resources provided by Nina Safan and also Venetia McGee have equipped us with the skills and the tools necessary to continue serving and connecting with our community effectively. We look forward to sustaining and building upon these improvements in the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shelley.
Thank you.
You want to stop sharing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I just want to thank Shelley. Shelley is, her nickname is the Bowl of Sunshine. She's always done this in person. Haley really picked up and ran with this, as did Lisa and Nicole at the main library. So, but I do hear, you know, in the community, whenever I'm at Sono, people are always, you know, eager to see Shelley. They just, you know, people are really excited. So I can see the change and 80, what was it, 82% Shelley improvement,
Yes, ma'am.
which is fantastic. And I've heard in the community, Moina's also pointed out several times the improvement. So I do think that the partnership was definitely worthwhile. And I think the team enjoyed working with Nina and Venetia, and they were very knowledgeable. So.
Alex?
Yeah, I thought one of the interesting proposals coming out of this partnership was the idea of having a library access point in the one of the laundromats.
Mm-hmm.
Could somebody give an update on that concept?
So we were looking at the laundromat and a beauty shop. They're near each other. The furniture that we have is, they need furniture that's a little higher. We have furniture that's longer. So we're still trying to work that out. We may just have to buy another piece of furniture, but yeah. So that's definitely in the works. We should have that organized, I say, by next week. We're trying to get through the Sono reopening, and then we'll figure out whether, you know, whether we'll buy furniture or whether they will provide it. And both of two of them are on North Main and the other is on South Main.
Those are the laundromats? Is that what you're saying?
Correct. Well,
Yeah.
two laundromats and then like a beauty barber
A
shop.
beauty parlor. Yeah, I think that's. I just like to say, I'm curious how many of people on this, how many board members are active on social media? I'm just curious. Because, and on Instagram, I mean, I have seen a really marked improvement in social media, both for the main library and for Sono. Like they're fun, they're engaging. I mean, lots of people, I've seen posts in Spanish and those get a lot of love. You know, like the one I think Lisa might have done, there's one about parking, where she goes around and shows everybody where all the parking spaces are after we closed on the Milligan lot. That got like hundreds of likes. I mean, if you're not on social media, you don't really realize how far it kind of like the reach is. And I would be very curious. I thank you, Shelley, for putting the numbers for Sono. But I would be curious about the main library too. And if we could get those numbers, I think that would be
Somebody
great.
can come next time, you know, for but I know Venetia and Anita, when they gave their report, they gave for both Sono and the main library. So, yeah.
Yeah, and then, I guess my one question is, like, you went to the Housing Authority and the Carver Center once. Is that something that you are planning to do? Do you have that on a schedule? Is that something that's going to be happening? Or is it kind of, you do it once and then you just leave the books there?
No,
I
it's
think-
ongoing. They let us
it's-
know when they're low.
Mhm.
Similar to what we do with the tax department, when they're low and the books needs to be replenished, they'll let us know.
Is there any thought of going to the health center on East Avenue?
That's a good thought. And I know, we have the main library of a partnership with the health department.
I know for a fact that the Carver, because my granddaughter goes there, and they were great. Shelley was great because I happened to meet her there, because I was picking up my granddaughter. But they did an excellent job with that. So,
Where, Janie? Is that where?
Carver
Carver.
Center?
Mhm.
George Washington. Yeah, they really appreciate the books that we brought, and the students really enjoyed it. So we're really thankful that we have this partnership. Mhm.
They've got some real, they've got really.
Geraldo?
Yeah.
Hello, Shelley. Do you guys have any way to track the influence of people that you have communicated with on social media with the presence or visitations in the library?
You mean how many teenagers we outreached?
Yes. That people that you reach that actually go also, besides online, also go to the library.
Mhm.
I could have made them aware of certain things, a program in the library. I see you do advertising, so
Yes.
there are people
Yeah.
that pick those up and then go to the library to an event or something.
Yes.
Is there any way to track that?
I don't know the exact number, but maybe we
So
can try
Shelley,
to.
I'll
Yes,
step in, Shelley. So Shelley's not in charge of that part. The library staff that's on site, that would be like a Raven and, what's her name, Haley, and in Cindy's department or Vicky's department. So they track like the number of people that are coming in, and I guess they would attract, keep track of the attendance as people are coming in to the programs. I know, so when we started the online registration, which is phenomenal to me, the tool that we had, we are able to see like who's signing up, so we can tell who we're outreaching to as well. And then I know some of the staff have put together lists from that, so when they're looking, so we can see who's coming, and then we know, like, if this, just say if they came to a paint program, if we have another paint, we have a list of people that we can call and say, hey, we're having another paint program. We saw that you registered for the previous one. Do you want to attend another? So everybody sort of has a different part. We have the outreach, and then we have the people who are in, we call it the in-reach, people that are handling a different part, but they work together. Like Shelley can give them a list of names that she's dealing with, and they can look on the registration list to see if there's crossover.
Thanks. Thank you, Sherelle.
You're very welcome. They do a phenomenal job. And
Mhm.
Shelley she's very sincere. She's like a people magnet. She's phenomenal.
Great.
She's a bowl of sunshine and the people magnet.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
She's so humble. So sometimes I have to speak up for her because she does so much, but I don't think she pays attention to all that she does. She just
Yeah.
does because she loves doing it. And it's a joy to work with her.
Hey, I've seen her host
Thank you.
programs too, and she's done a great job.
She's
Oh,
phenomenal.
thank you so much.
Thank
Very
you,
sincere.
Shelley.
No, thank you so much,
Really
everybody.
appreciate it.
Thank you, Sherelle. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
We'll give
Have
you
a
your
nice
night unless you want to hang out with us.
Thank you. Enjoy the meeting. Thank you.
All right, thank
Bye.
you. Bye-bye. I can move on unless we want to talk about the library cafe.
Yeah, why don't we just do the cafe and
Sure.
then we can move on. Geraldo, I'm going to pass it over to you.
Okay. So, as you know, for the past month, we have had and add and regarding the opportunities for the companies or individuals that may have been interested in bidding and running the cafe. And so far, we have not gotten any interest. You know, we have extended the date and still have not had any interest displayed at this point. So we're at the point that we're looking at, you know, what should we do next? You know, what are, you know, there's some options, whether it's, you know, using something to entice people to make sure more people are aware of what we're doing and the opportunity that exists, and decided where we should, how we should proceed. So I thought that it would be good to bring it back to the group to see if there are individuals here that would have some recommendations or, you know, thoughts on things that we could do to entice more people to, or at least have some people bid. And it's strange where you don't even have a response. So whether that's the location that we're in, the time of the year, or, you know, or how it's presented or how we communicated the information. So I'll open the floor and ask, are there any thoughts or anyone with any ideas? We can formalize this after I'm looking at, you know, having a meeting to look at, you know, where do we go from here? But is there any thoughts or recommendations from the audience?
I think having a meeting of the group is a logical next step.
Okay.
I mean, my guess is that the RFP was a little bit too onerous in terms of what the vendor would have to provide. So maybe we can figure out something that's more temporary and not a full-scale cafe, but just a coffee service kind of thing.
Are there local vendors or shops that would be willing to have like a little outpost in the library? Somebody who already kind of has the setup and knows what they're doing that might want to extend their reach that we could reach out to?
Yeah, interesting with that, because that's one of the areas I have thought of, mentioned in the past, of looking at some local place that would have the station in the library, which would enable them to be able to move material, you know, goods, people. So, you know, and also looking at not just posting the RFP, but maybe going to the local places and, you know, making them aware of what we're doing and see if they would have interest. Not just publishing, but actually marketing ourselves.
Geraldo?
Yeah.
About 5 years ago, we used to have a Keurig machine available to the public, and all they had to do to get their coffee was to go to checkout, and they would, for $1, they would buy their choice of whatever coffee they wanted, or tea or whatever, and the machine, then they would fill it, and we at least provided a very basic service. That was before the thought of a cafe was born. But we have tried that in the past. I think it was modestly acceptable. The difference now would be the fact that we have an area that has a sink and it has good countertops, and it might be something for consideration.
Yeah, and now we have some advantages of some things, yes, that are there. And maybe as we go forward, if we're going to repeat the RFP, I think those are things that we should promote to make people aware of what we have. I think when we first posted this, there was that transition of the Blue Cafe supposedly removing all assets in there, and we weren't certain exactly what we were going to be left with. At least we could identify what's there. No.
Well, there's another situation. We probably could make a change. I think we have sufficient furniture. There's a big, large wooden table left over from the first cafe. We have sets of matching chairs that we don't use. None of this is an investment by the library. It all came as gifts. And maybe we could tone down the amount of physical property that a person would have to bring in to do a cafe. I know that when Neoli was running the cafe, I mean, she paid for the flooring and she brought in 40 chairs and tables and maybe that might be a way of softening the takeover by someone else.
So,
I just want to
Right.
add that when we posted it on social media, you know, Haley actually called me a few times that people were asking, like, you know, for the link. I'm not sure that they could click on it. So we had to provide the link. So people were interested. It's just what happened between the interest and actually viewing the RFP. So we may want to review that. I've also spoken with some directors of smaller branches, some of whom don't want cafes at all. And we, you know, we're just talking about location, you know, and different things. So my thought is that, you know, people who have that business acumen and that are looking, you know, to make a profit, maybe it wasn't quite, maybe they didn't see a way that they were going to make a profit. So it's good that we can, you know, we can regroup and revisit. And then I should have, you know, some thoughts from, you know, other library directors, not the bigger ones, but, you know, the mid-sized libraries like we are.
Yeah, I agree. It should be someone who has business acumen because they need to run this like a business. And I'm sorry, but that didn't happen previously.
of course.
So,
And then by the end,
I've been visiting a lot of libraries these days, just like wherever I go. And I don't see a lot of fully, like, aside from like maybe Westport and New Canaan that have redesigned and made special spaces for a cafe. I don't see a lot of like kind of big proper cafes in libraries. I think for the reason, or there's some kind of partnership with a local nonprofit, you know, where you're giving people an opportunity to people in the special needs community. You know, I think that a small little library cafe is a hard sell for anybody who wants to make money. So I think we have to keep, I mean, I think it's worthwhile looking at the RFP again and seeing what we can do to make it like more like easier for someone to come in there. But I think we should also keep in mind that that this is not a real money-making venture the way it is right now. And in the smaller libraries that I go to, I see a lot of vending machines, to be quite honest. So that's, we haven't really talked about that. I mean, the Keurig might be, you know, kind of something like that, but there are, you know, like vending machines for snacks and for like Nespresso or whatever drinks.
we
So
did try that years ago. I want to say 2017, 2018, but I won't belabor that in this meeting. That's something that we can discuss, you
On
know,
the side, yeah.
when we get together. Yeah.
Okay.
and just following up on closing with what you mentioned, when I've noticed that a place that I referenced this before, like the Westport Library, they have some sort of agreement where the baked goods that they have are from the Sono Bakery, and then the sandwiches are from a deli in Fairfield. So I'm not sure how they do that, but they're limiting the rest. So then they have the workers. So one of the things, the special need people there, that's really just for in most places that I've seen are the labor force that's going to work and either making the sandwich or selling the items or providing the customer service. But I agree, we should have a meeting and look at the different options. And unfortunately, I'm going to be unavailable until July. I'm going to be leaving. I'm going to be going away next week until the middle of July. So I think,
We can regroup then.
Sure.
yes.
And there's just one other thing that I'll throw out there and then we can move on and we can discuss it more, is that we do have NCC and they do have a culinary program, and maybe there could be some kind of partnership if we think creatively about, about something like that. Use our, something that might be an interesting idea.
Yeah. It's
It
very
could be,
And I-
just keep in mind with that they already have a cafe area in the college that they use for training purposes. So by all means, go to them and I can put you in touch with somebody there, but be aware that they may not want to take something on offsite.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Thank you.
Can I ask a question? I didn't study the RFP. Was there anything in it that gave an applicant some sense of security of what would happen when we expand and within the library?
There was no
Any protection that they would have, like first choice to refuse the opportunity or in the future? No?
It actually basically just made them aware that
Yeah.
there was, an expansion that will occur. And it's basically said we'll have a discussion, in summary, there's some statement of we'll have a discussion to evaluate how that will be managed or how the service will be provided. But it wasn't a commitment or something that
that
would
might-
restrict them.
Not a commitment, but an enticement. I'm thinking that might help to get somebody to be interested looking toward the future. And especially now that the Wall Street projects have been announced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
So
Good.
I'm recommending, and I think we're getting the feedback that we should have a meeting sometime. If we can wait until July, sometime in the middle of July, then I would be available too. We could make everybody here, join and participate in the meeting and come up with a scheme of what we should do next.
Sounds good. Just quickly, one thing that came up in the meeting with the library directors, was that we want to make sure that the surrounding businesses that may offer food don't look at us as competing with them or taking away from them just because, we're community oriented. So that's one thing that came up too.
And that's why, like what Laura said, and we had spoken about this, there's some pockets there where there's a little bakery or something that may work well, where they would have a place that would develop these, bake these, or make these items, and they could pull them in and out on a daily basis. Have a worker that can be there, and they can manage it from their remote location, which would make it a lot easier.
Yeah. Well, there's Roma right out down the street. Maybe.
What was that?
Yeah, I was just talking about a
Cafe
cafe
Roma.
Cafe Roma that's just right down.
Oh,
the
Roma.
street.
Yeah, got you.
And there's another one around the corner on Main also.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
That
very,
road, that
they're
house.
doing
in
very well.
Both, yeah.
There's an empanada place on Main Street also. So,
Yeah.
But
all right.
Ready?
Yep. Let's move on.
All right, hello again. So first on the list is the Sono reopening. Fingers crossed, targeting June 21st from 11 to noon. So we have been working diligently. We came up with a little staff, well, we didn't come up with it, the ADH person came up with it. So we have to remove parts, the end shelves on each of our shelving units so that we're ADA compliant. So we started working on that today. Hopefully we should be able to finish by Monday. And let's see. So yeah, so for now, Friday, June 21st, 11 to noon, and I hope everyone can make it. The main library carpet, the other capital project, is completed. The rug looks absolutely fabulous. I don't know if everyone has seen it. I know Moina, Patsy, and I did a walkthrough, but it's absolutely fabulous.
It looks great.
Yeah, it brightens the place up and makes it a lot safer.
Exactly.
Mm.
Oh, yeah, we appreciate, the mayor, the common council for, listening to that because it's definitely much safer. We had holes in the carpet and definitely, a hazard. So not only is it aesthetically beautiful, but it's also safe.
Yeah.
And
We-
it was done pretty quickly. I mean, and thanks to you and your staff and all the patrons for putting up with it, but it was, short-term pain.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it wasn't so bad. And Cindy actually said that some of the patrons didn't even know about downstairs because they only used the first floor. So that, we said we'll pay attention to the statistics to see, if the statistics are higher because now people know about the lower level. And thank you for that, Moini. Kudos to the staff because they thought of everything and how we could just make the transition seamless. So patrons really didn't miss a beat because we had to check out downstairs. We still had the books on the shelf so people could run upstairs and grab a book. We had the faxing, we had the new books downstairs. So patrons really didn't miss out on anything.
now the upstairs and downstairs carpet are kind
I
of,
know. It stands, the same with Sono, like now that the second floor is done, the children's department looks a little dated. So just quickly, Neil, Lamond, Moina, Patsy, and I did a walkthrough of the main library on June 10th. We intended to also do the Sono library, but the main library took quite a bit of time, so we just didn't have time. So we're looking to reschedule for Sono. Basically just a few things that came up is that the roofs need replacing on both libraries. In the main library, the elevator, we need to bring it up to code. The dumbwaiter, there's no impact to the operation, but we have leaks in our dumbwaiter. The north entrance, which is commonly referred to as the back entrance, or the Belden Avenue entrance, we need to replace the windows on the side of the sliding doors that leak. And then there's a roof area. It's not actually the roof, but it's on the side of the north side of the building that needs to be addressed. We talked about power washing the north side of the building and removing, now that we, have closed on 3 Belden, perhaps we can remove or cut part of the fence that's between the 3 Belden lot and the sidewalk that leads to the north entrance so that people can have easier access from that parking lot to our building as opposed to having to walk all the way around. We would just have to address the grade issue, the different levels of height. We just have to address that. The south entrance, which is referred to as our front entrance or the Mott Avenue entrance, we need to replace those windows as well, due to the leaks. And because we're thinking of, having a renovation, Neil is looking at this point for a 3 to 5 year warranty.
I'll just add quickly a little bit that when we were there were work people like up, doing kind of the replacement of the huge rain, and they were patching up as we speak, all of those areas. So that's good.
Thank you, Mona.
Yeah, I just like to add to that. Actually, what's happening is all of these items fall into 2 categories,
Yes.
basically, operating versus capital, and whether it's under the library capital budget for next year or whether the city can work any of these items in. So that's really the next step is separating the concepts or the items and getting some focus on cost and then taking a step further on opening up between 3 Belden, the district the previous district property. I had worked on that concept for well over 10 years, kind of, and it's not that hard to do. It will make a huge difference, and it will also make us look so much better. There is a difference grade of about 1.5 feet, and there's a drainage issue, how the water flows from that parking lot into our lot, which is lower, so those are some of the things. But one of the other things that came up was, how do we provide the book drop off? And I suggested that we look at changing the entrance on Mott to the entrance being the second cut in the curb rather than the first one off of West Avenue. And that way you can come around, and by the side of the building, we could have a drop off and we go out that other exit. So I think the city will look at that. That might help us solve that problem too. So we didn't finish. I wanted to make sure we did not finish with our walkthrough at the main library. We didn't get to look at locks and some other things. So I'm just
And
noting that.
bathrooms. We didn't look at the
Right,
bathroom.
and the bathrooms. So we've got to do that along with the trip to South Norwalk.
Sorry, Cheryl, was there anything else on the list? I interrupted you.
No. No, I think that was pretty much it. I'm just adding the lock because I didn't.
Well, we talked about carpeting, and we talked about some lighting and some other things. So
Oh,
we
you
just
know
have
what?
to,
Yeah, the basement. I'm sorry, I'm looking at my
yeah,
list now.
you need to get the list together for us to take a look
I
at it.
sent the list to everyone.
You did?
I did.
Oh,
So the
I didn't.
basement, so basically when we walked through, as Moina mentioned earlier, now that we have the new carpet upstairs, we look downstairs and it looks a little dismal. So, we were thinking the carpet needs to be refreshed. On the lower level, we have tiles that need to be replaced on the south side of the building. And then we need to paint the whole back area.
On the basement.
This is
I
the
didn't get the
basement level.
list.
Yeah.
I didn't get any list yet.
Okay, let me just see what date.
Well, we can do it. You can do it.
Yeah,
out.
do it later.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, so it's, if you search by my name, it should come up. So that's basically what we had. We just had a couple of things that needed to be removed in the stairwell. So we had a list of 2021 list, and then when we did the walkthrough, we did note, the things that Guardian had already addressed from the 2021 list. So that's it for that.
So this walkthrough just happened. So I think our goal will be to create, for the next board meeting, maybe let's kind of put it down and kind of maybe show the whole board, like, what we're thinking and what the city is thinking in terms of like short term, right away, medium term. We don't need to do it right now, kind of have that as a running list, which we can share with the board on, a semi-regular basis.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So as far as outdoor maintenance, Paul Sotnick and DPW have done, some work on our exterior. So we've had the tree that's in the island between the two lots. It's one lot now, but there's a little island that separates the lot behind the building. There was a dead tree, so they've come and they've taken that down. They've trimmed our trees back, so some of the tree in the parking lot, you could barely see the signage because the branches were covering it. So we're very appreciative. I put in a ticket and they responded right away. So Paul Sotnick he's come by, so he's the person that will be responsible for planting the trees. So we've had a couple of trees that fell in front of the library, and then we had the dead tree that was just removed in the lot. So he'll be responsible for you know, for replacing those trees. And let's see what else. As far as, I'm just gonna skip down to the parking improvements. So Sarak Legis or Legisi, I'm not sure how to pronounce the last name, from the Parking Authority, and Brian Blutz from, who's the director of parking. They came over on May 21st and we looked at signage. And so they were very responsive, like that day, the signage was put up. So we've also talked about you know, repaving the parking lot and then making sure the arrow, well, I guess we'll have to wait now if we're going to reverse the entrance and the exit, but those are things that we discussed, but they've been very responsive and the action has been very, very quick. So I just want to thank Brian and Sarak for their quick action.
They put up the one-way sign, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then once the trees were cut, we can actually now see them.
Yeah, that was important. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheryl, I don't think they addressed the issue that Ralph has brought up many times.
They
on-
have
on
not. I've taken pictures, and I know you addressed it with Neil, so I'll have
Right.
to keep plugging away. Thank you for mentioning that, Patsy. But I took pictures. I've been the picture queen lately.
So that just so I'm for the record, what we're talking about is the signage on the Belden Avenue into the parking lot there, right? Is that right?
Into 3 Belden,
Into
yeah.
3 Belden, yeah.
Mhm. And so finally, main library furniture. I had to, so this is the capital project. We were approved $20,000 for furniture for the main library reading area. So we were working with one vendor. I'm not quite sure they understood what we really needed. There's Patsy had mentioned another organization. Oh, what was it?
There's Redfin and then there's Mason. You know, the paper people they
Yeah.
have a huge division now. And
So there's a couple. So from what I understand, from purchasing, if if we have the state contract with them, we don't have to go out to bid. We can work. So we're looking at, there's a company, what are they called? Hines. They've done really good work for the schools. And then we also have I'm drawing a blank right now. It's a company that we're actually working with.
Silver Petroselli?
No.
Oh.
It's a furniture
Oh.
company.
is it Redfin?
No, but there's
It's not Mason? It's not Mason? Because they mentioned to me that they were working with you.
WB Mason. When you said Mason, it totally went out of my head, but yes,
Yeah.
WB Mason.
Okay.
So I'd like to, see what WB Mason and Hines can offer, because now that we have that new carpet, it just seems criminal to have the old furniture back there. So once, we're finished with the Sono reopening, that's going to be our focus, is, trying to get the GNLV office furnished and also get the reading room of the main library furnished.
And we're talking specifically in that back area, right?
Correct.
Where cafe
Yeah, where
is,
the cafe
that big
was,
open
correct.
back area, right? I mean, the furniture at Sono is wonderful. It really gives you a sense of how nice furniture, good chairs and functional, attractive, functional, comfortable, it'll just make such a big difference.
Big difference.
back
Yeah, I
there.
think Hines has that design eye, and so that's what we're looking for now. The companies, at least that will give us, options and not just expect us to pick out what we want, but that can really give us the options for the space. So we're looking to have a meeting. Let's see. I'm looking at the 24th to have Cindy and Shelley at the, figure out their availability. Just to sit down so that they can see the space, and then so we can just get going on this. And I think a good company should be able to give us something within a week or two.
I have a question on Sono and the comment you made about the ADA
Oh, yes.
issue.
Mhm.
Was that area addressed by the architectural team?
So the issue is similar to the parking lot. If it's existing, we
No,
don't.
no, you said you had to move some of the shelving.
We had to do
Because-
that today. So when he came in, the shelving is still in the same place. So the issue is, had we had the books in already or left the books in, we wouldn't
Okay,
have
yeah,
to.
okay, but that's not my question. My question is, this is sort of late for that issue to come up. Was
Mhm.
that area reviewed or any part of what the redesign of that floor did?
It was not, and if I could finish, it wasn't because at the time, when the books were already in, it wasn't even mentioned with ADA. The children's department was mentioned, but the adult department wasn't. Now that we have the empty shelves, what Bill is saying is that now, if the books are in there, that's a different story. But now that we have the empty shelves, this would be the prime opportunity to address that area. And it's similar to if, we don't pave the parking lot, we can get away with not being, we just have to do a few things to be compliant. But if we're going to repave the whole parking lot, now we have that opportunity to be fully compliant. That's what I was trying to say. So, but we're plugging away. We got some of it done today. Hopefully we'll be able to finish tomorrow.
Okay. We're gonna talk about staffing now, right?
Yeah, I just have to make sure, we had a call out today and I just have to make sure that they're closed. I thought we'd be finished with the meeting by now, I'm sorry. So basically, Yay, our branch manager will be starting on Monday, as well as our full-time custodian will be beginning on Monday. So very happy for the extra help.
That is great
Yeah,
news. What about part-time custodians and the other?
So one person we interviewed 3. One of the part-timers has agreed to come on. The hours that we needed him to work, he couldn't work, so we just had to work out what hours, but I needed to work it around the full-time person's hours. So there was talk about, I guess we can go back in and interview another person if we need another part-time person.
So you have one part-time person kind of ready, almost ready, right? Sounds good.
and
Well, the
they both
part-time is
start
ready.
next week?
They both start on Monday.
Wow,
Yay.
just wow.
So do we have any more open positions, Sherelle?
We do. So, I'm really sorry because we are short-staffed. And again, I thought our meeting was going to be finished. I just have to make sure that, because we had a call out, and make sure that downstairs is locked because it's 8 o'clock. So we do have others, and it's the clerk position and the librarian position. I cannot see them on my referral list, and I've mentioned that. I don't know if they haven't taken the time to re-refer them. Yeah, they're not there. They've not taken the time to, I don't know if they re-referred them. I haven't seen them. But the difficulty is if when you have someone who's starting, like I run up and down the road. Most people are not going to do that, and most people don't want to be tied to the building. So it's imperative that we do fill those positions. So when a manager comes in, the manager can actually be a manager and have people to manage. The good thing is that the person is kind of a catch-22. So hopefully we can interview together, which will be good, so they can choose, their own staff. But it's very difficult when they come in and they're having to program and they're having to try to manage the branch, plus try to meet people. So, I sent an email basically about the clerk position, the full-time clerk position, and And I haven't seen the referral, so I don't know if anybody's gonna take the time to refer them. Others say they can see them. I can't see them. So we really need to get that position and the children's librarian position in, then we'll have a good chance at having this, the new branch manager be successful.
So this, you're working on this with HR?
Yes, I am. It's
Okay.
just, it's a little frustrating. I'm just gonna put that on the record. So, yeah.
Okay.
So
It'll
that's
be
it
great.
for my
So-
report.
Okay, that's great. So hopefully we can meet the new branch manager, maybe at our next meeting.
You'll meet him Friday.
Oh,
Right,
okay.
at the opening.
Oh,
Yes,
wonderful.
you will meet him
Okay.
Friday.
That's good. Great. All right, so it sounds like we're done. Are there any questions? If not, will someone make
I
a
move
motion?
to adjourn.
Patsy
Move.
moves to adjourn. Second, Alex seconds, all in favor. We'll see you
Aye.
over at the foundation
Wanda, can you
meeting.
just stay on for a quick second?
Who, me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. We'll see you over at the foundation meeting.
Do we have a link for the foundation meeting? I never found it.
I sent an email
Not
to,
Moina sent it.
Ralph, I sent it to your BTB email and your Norwalk Public Library email because I was getting is bouncing back to me.
All right, well, it never came to me on my own email,
Well, which is your email? Which is the right email?
the BTB.
I sent it to you twice and
Never
it
came.
bounced back.
You know what, Moina, just for time's sake, I'll resend it to him.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Okay, everybody else, we'll see you at the meeting.
Okay.
All right, bye. So just a quick thing, so was the link my link or is it your link?
Which one? It was your link.
Okay, perfect. I wasn't sure, so okay, that's all I wanted. I don't want to ask in front of everybody. So what I'm gonna do is get that started, and then I have to just run downstairs. Otis couldn't come back, and then Tammy called out, so I just need to make sure the main library is locked. But I'll start the meeting first.
Okay.
Okay, bye bye. Bye bye.